Okay, great. This is the speculator at Take Your Profits. I will be going over my post-trade review operations for, I believe it is trade numbers 80 and 81. Yep, that's what it is. And as always, I'm going to be asking the two questions I ask of each and every trade at the end of every trade for these post-trade reviews. The first question is, did everything go as planned? When a trade is closed, I want to analyze the performance of each trade by discussing whether or not my trade had gone as originally intended as per my set strategy. The second question I'll be asking myself over the next few minutes is what can I improve and what steps will I take for improvement? So getting right into the trades, we can see that trade number 80, which was a short last week, I believe I took it last Sunday, in the New Zealand dollar market. I was playing what was a pretty ugly Gartley pattern reversal. So let's go into the ProTrader Dashboard and see what the actual characteristics of the trade were. Okay, and here we go. Trade number 80, which is this one. It was analyzed on the 1 hour chart, was the trading time frame. It had a stochastic crossover. It scored a stochastic crossover. It scored points for being at a probable reversal point at a major structural level, major price structure level. It scored points for ratio confirmation, points for higher time frame confirmation, and as I said previously, it scored points for a Gartley pattern completion, although it was a pretty poor example of a Gartley pattern completion. So going into the trade, this was a set strategy. My entry was at the very peak. Actually, if this would have worked, this would have been a great entry because it was at the very peak of the new structure high that was formed here, that's where I decided to go short. My stops were placed above point X at a 2-way TR of the entry. So this was my risk. Then I took a measurement off the ABCD completion that I expected to complete to obtain my targets, which were at the 382, 50, and 618 retracement of this upward trend. Again, my actual targets were set above the actual retracement measurements to ensure that I would obtain the targets if the market moved in my direction. Now, asking myself the first question on trade number 80 is, did everything go as planned? And if we look to the completion of this trade on the next image, we can see that from the entry here at this level, I think it is the 84.15 level, price never reversed to the direction we expected it to go to and continued on against our position, taking me out for a loss at the protective stops above point X. So this trade did not necessarily go as planned, as my targets were not hit. However, it did go as planned in that I was able to participate in a trade that I believed was had a decent probability of reversing, and I still maintained a decent level of risk protection within the trade parameters itself. I think I only lost about, let's take a look at that on the ProTrader Dashboard. Total loss on this trade was 144.60 on 48 pips. So the risk was 48 pips to try to grab 50 or 60 pips, and it just didn't work out. Now, what could be done to improve on this trade? Well, if you notice, really what I had played was the AB leg was a 707 retracement of the XA leg. Okay, so immediately upon seeing that, what I should have been thinking was a butterfly reversal at the 127 extension of XA. So in order to improve this, I could have judged the characteristics of the Gartley points more stringently, therefore causing me to wait for a butterfly rather than playing the Gartley at this 886 retracement of the XA. Just because price is at an 886 retracement of the XA does not mean it's necessarily going to be a Gartley, especially when being that price was at this point, there was no A, B, C D harmonic completion, as price still had yet to reach point D, which would have been a better place to take the reversal entry for this trade. So my decision here, though, however, was to take the trade at the 886 of XA, and obviously it didn't work out. The good thing was that my stops were correctly placed in that they limited the amount of money I put at risk to take on this trade, and really what could have been done better was to have patience and to score the characteristics with a little bit more accuracy, I guess. Basically what I'm trying to achieve here is I want to be a little bit more strict on how I'm scoring these Gartley patterns. I want to score a 3-point Gartley if I get a 618 retracement of the XA on that AB impulse leg. As you can see, in this case it surpassed 618 to go to 707, so being that it was close enough to the 786, I should have had the patience. Instead of taking the short here, I should have had the patience to wait till I got a 127 extension ratio confirmation somewhere up here to take it short there. Luckily that's not even how it played out. It may have, I'm not sure, but at the end of the day, this particular trade did not work out. This particular trade does have room for improvement in that it tells me I need to I need to be a little bit more strict about how I'm scoring my CTS points on the actual market. And then I should also practice a little bit more discipline to wait for the correct setups to occur. This is not a good example of patience in this case, nor discipline either. I mean, the fact that the stops were respected is great. That's always a requirement, so I can't even give myself brownie points for that. That's just something you know, you got to do if you expect to win. So the reason why I'm doing the post-trade review for trade number 80 and trade number 81 combined is that they were both similar trades. As you can see here, this is the, let's go back here, this is the set strategy for trade number 81, and price had consolidated right here at this yellow line, which is the 886 retracement of XA, which was pretty much the exact same condition that was occurring on the New Zealand dollar market. As you can see, the AB leg retraced to a 707 retracement of XA, which again leads me to conclude that what could have been done better, because obviously this trade didn't work out either, but what could have been done better to improve on these trades is noticing the fact that the AB impulse leg had retraced to a 707 of XA, and therefore I should have forgotten about the Gartley pattern opportunity to therefore wait for a more probable butterfly reversal at a higher level. So you know, I took these two trades simultaneously because they were exhibiting the same characteristics. I took the same small amount of risk, a 2 ATR from the entry, which as you can see was also taken at the very tip of this consolidation level. So if the market would have gone in my favor, it would have been a great entry. However, that is not the case. As you can see on the next slide, the market just continued to rally against my position, taking me out on my protective stops. So yeah, I could pat myself on the back and tell myself, yeah, great, you know, you obeyed your stops and you only absorbed a minimum amount of risk. I think this one was also something like a 40 pip loss, nothing big, nothing major. And I'll tell you right now, it was a 60 pip loss. The other pip was a 48 pip loss. This one was a 59 pip loss for a total loss of 178 nothing. I think that's like, it's got to be like 1% of this account, not even, whatever. It was a small loss, which is the point. When I'm taking losses, which, you know, I take a lot, I want to make sure I minimize those losses. But looking at the characteristics in the ProTrader Dashboard for trade number 81, we can see that there was no stochastic crossover scored. It was trading at an MAS level. Yep, trade number 1, Aussie dollar market. It did score points for ratio confirmation, and it did score the Gartley completion for trading, for consolidating at that 886 retracement of the XA leg. Now, you know, again, this is the problem. I think I was a little too liberal in scoring these points here. So I you know what, it's not that I was a little, it's just I was extremely liberal. I was incorrect in scoring those points, which is what went wrong in this trade. And I need to only score these points when there's an 886 retracement. I'm sorry, when there's a 618 retracement of the AB impulse leg. Also, considering that my probabilities, this one did have a 50% chance of winning both of these trades. However, the particular characteristics grouped here showed a group profit and loss of 323. So apparently I have tried this very same strategy before, and overall the conditions are not probable for this type of trading. So another warning here, when I executed this this trade idea was shown here in my profile scores, and that these trades have not been profitable. Now obviously these particular trades added to these losses, so at the time it wasn't shown as such a, even though it's not that big of a loss, but it wasn't so pronounced. So now this is kind of confirming the fact that the characteristics involved in these trades, which is basically scoring Gartley's liberally on AB retracements that reach a 707, is just not an effective strategy. I have to be more strict in scoring those trades, and that's just what's gonna make these opportunities all the more profitable, and that's what I got to work on and improve upon. So that's the post-trade review for trade numbers 80 and 81. Be on the lookout. I will be posting some ROE ad points up on the site. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this, and I hope my own trading serves to help you improve your trading. So once again, this is the Speculator at takeyourprofits.com. Don't forget, take your profits.